Admittedly, there are still a lot of motorcycles out there that I'll look at initially and go, eh. And don't take that the wrong way. My personal preference on what's cool looking is fucking crazy, so my opinion shouldn't be so drastic that it crushes your worldview. Anyway, this is one of those motorcycles where I went, eh, when I first saw it. This is the 2015 Triumph Speed Triple 1050, by the way.
Is that a bike?
I don't know what it is about standard bikes. They don't get me going when I look at them. Your first impression of a bike is always going to be its appearance. That's what everyone else around you is going to be seeing first anyway, as you're the only one experiencing the ride on a regular basis. If something doesn't stand out to you at first glance, you're gonna look at it and go, eh. But that's the thing. In order to appreciate this bike for what it is, you have to ride it. Okay. So, the main thing I'm going to be talking about in this video is, holy shit! Forget what I said about the S1000 being comfortable. This is a fucking lazy boy with wheels and an engine attached to it. Oh my god. This bike is more comfortable than some cars I've been in, if that says anything. I rode this Speed Triple for around 4 hours on the day of filming. Not once did I have any instance of discomfort whatsoever. The seating position is upright, so you're not putting most of your weight on the wrists. The seat itself isn't having a boxing match with your asshole. It's just pleasant. And I'm gonna try here to use that as a segue into how the engine doesn't have to be if you don't want it to. Yeah, that was bad. Just deal with it. I didn't go to school for riding if that wasn't already painfully obvious. So the engine. It's a triple cylinder, logically right in the middle of an inline 4 and a twin. Has more low-end torque than a 4-cylinder and more high-end oomph than a 2-cylinder. It is, however, a little on the heavy side. According to MotoUSA.com, the dry weight of the Speed Triple 1050 is 471.7 pounds wet. This is the hardest motorcycle I've had to research for, because if you don't have the R version, apparently you can go fuck yourself. No one has the horsepower for this specific bike listed anywhere whatsoever. I think it's 160 at the crank. Nearly every modern naked bike nowadays is. If I'm wrong, where did you find out? The style of this bike is more commonly known as a street fighter, basically a sport bike with the fairings taken off. The style became somewhat popular in the 80s and 90s with Japanese sport bike riders who couldn't afford to replace their fairings after they crashed an arbitrary amount of times. Triumph was one of the earliest adopters of the style with their 1994 Speed Triple. I've seen it been said that this was the bike that put them in the spotlight. Ever since then, they've come out with many different versions, some with less displacement, some with more fancy, stuff. This particular one has some pretty cool features though, like shift lights, single-sided swing arm, ride-by-wire throttle, pro taper handlebar, and a competition works exhaust. By the way, dude, oh my god, that exhaust. I know this probably means that it needs a tune, but listen to this bike as I downshift coming to a stop. Just yes. Now, I know what I said at the beginning of the video was kind of off-putting to some of you, but let me just say this. It wasn't filmed, but myself and the caretaker of this bike went to another town for breakfast pretty early in the morning on the day of filming. Riding this Triumph down county roads through a brisk fog was pretty damn relaxing. I haven't had a ride that comfortable in a long time. Probably ever. And if that doesn't portray my true feelings for this bike, I don't know what will. I'd rather have an FC10 though.
Single-sided swing arms, because they don't have a perfectly balanced steering feeling. Like, left feels different from right. So getting onto this was like, oh, that's just Ducatis suck.